Did Kubrick films like Clockwork Orange, did that hit you hard when you were a kid?
Oh, huge.
Okay.
Yeah. Outside of just the cinematic aspects of it, every aspect of that movie, the photography, the acting, the costume design, the production design, the music, Jesus.
Yeah.
Everything is so specific to make it something so incredibly unique. And, you know, Paul and I have talked about, I think we talked about with you, the acting in that's like kabuki theater. It's not real. And I think that kind of helps.
Yeah, well, Clockwork Orange somehow weirdly gets away with some of it because it is almost the acting. It almost is like kabuki theater.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing realistic in those performances at all. It's so big.
Yeah.
Like even the warden guy, you know, who's like,
hello, little Alex. Or something.
Yeah. Or
That guy,
Patrick. Or
Patrick
McGee. Yeah, he's like, food, all right. Try the wine. Yeah, all that stuff.
Wine.
Yeah, all that stuff. But it's so over the top. I mean, bananas. And yeah, that's what's weird about that movie is like the tone is all over the place.
To me, I always felt that film was he's narrating it, so it's from his point of view. And he has this very skewed point of view, an exaggerated point of view of humanity. And if you watch it, when things are going good for him, the music's high and everything, and the women in it.
Beethoven.
Yeah, and the women in it are all kind of gorgeous and voluptuous. And I understood the criticism of the male gaze of that movie, but I think it's totally, I think that's totally warranted. But the way I saw it was that, it is the male, it's his gaze. So I don't know if those women look like that in the reality.
Interesting.
In his reality.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They all look like this. In his reality, that's the way his parents look. His mom has a weird fucking, you know, in his reality, this is what it is.
And the women are highly sexualized and
highly sexualized. And the members of his group are all idiots.
Yeah.
You know, and the other groups are all kind of like ugly morons, but he's this kind of virile, you know, and the woman at the who gives him the test, you know, is a real shrew, and you know how everything is very caricature-y. It's like his little caricature book. Yeah, you know, and
that's a helpful way to think of the film. I hadn't really thought that through.
Yeah, well, for me, that's how I always saw the film. Not always. Repeated viewings of it, because what unlocked it for me was the moment when he's kicked out of his house, and it cuts to that scene.
The other guy lives in his house.
Oh yeah, that's Joe. That's Joe.
Go ahead.
He lives here now. He's taking your room, but but there's a moment where Malcolm McDowell is. Feelings, you know, he has a little parcel and he's sad and he's been kicked out of the house, and it's the scene where the bum that they beat up notices him, and the music's very sad. It's like it's almost overly, you know, melodrama. It is actually, you know, like when melodrama, you know, when people do like when you feel sorry for someone, you pretend to do like a violin. It's literally that music,
right? Heavy vibrato on the strings.
And he's just like. It was like all is lost for poor little me, and then he gets the shit kicked out of him, and then it just keeps getting worse and worse.
My dad would introduce me to shit, but he wasn't like
Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah, it's like this. But I remember him showing me Clockwork Orange, and I was like, I should not have seen it. Probably. You guys wrote a great piece about Clockwork.
Yeah,
Orange,
we just did.
Yeah, I love
last
that.
week.
I thought that was a great piece. But I, for some reason, got it. You know, and I was like, oh, I understand that. You know, and it wasn't. I was like, oh, that's kind of a. I don't know if that was the intention of the filmmaker or whatever, but it hit me on a certain level, an emotional level, that I got, you know. And I never seen a movie that looked like that, sounded like that. Every element of it was something I never seen. The way it was shot, edited, the use of music, the costumes, the production design, everything. It was funny. The Ringer just did an article that was pretty good about the Clockwork Orange on Netflix, and like, will people be able to understand that it's a piece of art and understand what it's trying to say and not just react to it. And it was interesting. It was an interesting article, but that is definitely one of the movies I like that I say I like that I'm constantly defending why I like it. Clockwork Orange.
Orange,
Yeah,
yeah.
people get really angry when they talk to you about that movie. And some of them, most of it, I just go, all right, that's your thing. I'm not going to tell you you're right or wrong. I'm going to say, here's how it affected me.
Right.
Why I was moved by it, but, I get it. But I feel like Clockwork Orange, the misogyny in it is kind of like born within like how bad the guy is and how bad the society is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that if you take that ability away from somebody, they're not human anymore.
Yeah.
And so that it's this really, like, we all have this ability to be an Alex. We just choose not to, But it's so hard to explain that to someone after they watch the first 30 minutes of the movie and they're like, why would I want to watch these guys gang rape a woman? And I go, no, I don't like watching that stuff. But as a story, it's not fun, but not all movies have to be fun.
What I loved about that film, or what I thought was amazing about it, was that the theme of the movie, my reaction to it is the kind of the theme of the movie, where I was watching this guy do all these despicable things, and then he gets caught, and then he gets out, and all the people he perpetrated it on, they are now perpetrating upon him. And karma, and I found it really satisfying.
Yeah.
So I'm finding it really satisfying seeing him get the shit kicked out of him. And that's kind of what the movie's about. Yeah.
But then the last act is like hard for you to take because there's a reversion, right? To the vine,
But where it's like he gets beat up and everything, and I'm like, this is kind of what the movie's about. Without violence, we are not human. Without this anger I'm having right now, I am not a human being.
Yes, that's very
you know
interesting.
What I mean?
Yeah, you're totally enjoying the revenge. Yeah, no, it's true.
I'm enjoying the revenge, and that heat or this anger or whatever towards this guy, this asshole. I'm now like, oh, this is kind of what the movie's about, which is like, if I don't have that was taken away from me, I would cease to be human. So it's like, it's kind of enacting into it, and then so by the end of the film, he reverses it and he's, cured. And the last bit of it is kind of like just the most like hardcore social satire it is, where you literally have the government feeding him and all these things. And it's very funny and everything. But, I think that for me, that's the power of that movie from my experience.
Well,
it's satisfying.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's why I watched Dateline, because at the end of Dateline, the guy gets caught. There's justice because it tells you it is a fair world. It is a fair, just world.
That's right.
I want to feel that. And if I don't feel that, then I can't, get up out of bed in the morning but
you can only experience it in art, in the imagination, because reality doesn't give it to you.
Right. So, there's that thing where I'm watching him, Alex, in Clockwork Orange, get beat up when his two friends, his cohorts, are now cops, and they're beating him with a pipe, and they're holding him underwater. And it's really tough, but there's a part of me that's like, well, I watched this guy, rape a woman in front of her husband, and he did all this horrible shit.
Yeah, he's scumbag.
He's scumbag. I'm kind of loving this. But then I'm like, well, wait a minute. wait.
Why am I loving this so much?
Why am I loving this? Wait, that's not good.
It's true, though.
Yeah. What does it say about me? What is it about seeing the other side that lose that's so satisfying, Believe me, I've seen that movie with other people, and they go, can we please turn this off? Or this is not for me. Or I'll recommend it. I recommended it to my friend and his wife, and the next time I saw them, they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
That?
We turned it off. That was awful. And I was like, "But don't you?" I was like, "Why do you always like this dark stuff? Why can't you watch Father the Bride or something? Why is it always got to be such dark shit?" Clockwork Orange was a massive one for me, and it was really polarizing. It's still like a very polarizing movie. I talked to people and and I think they have good points about it too. I have a friend that says, I don't like that these guys are, she grew up with those posters of droogs, and the droogs are like a pop culture thing. And she's like, they're rapists.
Yeah. exactly.
And so it's kind of, I didn't like going into dorm rooms and there's these like, or guys would dress up like it for Halloween. And that's just like, I found that really disturbing. And that's a fair point.
I love the film Clockwork Orange. That was a movie that was very formidable for me. I understand that movie is not easy to watch, but I can have a conversation of why that movie struck me so much and my views of like, violence and, and the human condition and all these things, whatever. And I did have a conversation that was the only really time where it was the opposite of what you're describing, because usually it's what you're describing where I go, I don't know what you want out of it. But I had a friend say, but what bothers me about that film was that it became pop culture and that people would dress up like droogs. And I remember seeing the Blur video and they're dressed up like droogs and all these other things. Bart Simpson was dressed up like a droog and, they're monsters. And I went, you know what? That's a very good point. You're right. That is a very good point. I mean, that I could understand if you go and watch that film and you go, I hate that when you go into, people have posters of Alex on their wall and shit. And it's like, that shouldn't be, and I said I can understand why you wouldn't like that film based on that, but I think that bit is out. That's the unfortunate byproduct of the thing, but I said, I hear you. I think that movie is very important, but that is a very true thing. That is unfortunate.
Yeah. That was the thing with those Kubrick movies, is this rare thing where you could be flipping through the channels and flip past a Kubrick movie and you go, oh, that was a Kubrick movie. Go back. You know what I mean? Because just blown out windows, the lighting, the way he frames it, the costumes, everything kind of comes together to make a specific thing that is wholly him.